One Page Weekly with Nick Slavik. Agency. Data plus feelings. Agency equals power plus choice plus action. Humans aged 3 to 7 start expressing preferences. Adolescents 12 to 18 start developing autonomous decision-making. Young adults 18 to 25 experience the full legal and societal responsibility of decision-making, by choice or by the pressure of outside forces. Agency, in the literary meaning, describes a character's ability to make meaningful decisions that affect the plot of the story. Characters without agency feel manipulated by the story. Characters with agency drive the narrative and the outcome. In real life, some of us were forced to do some of this earlier, some of us later. Those of us who created little versions of ourselves have seen these characters work through these stages and fulfill their own agency. My 2 sons and I went turkey hunting in the wilderness of northern Minnesota with Chris Mole. Chris is a bit of an enigma. He's from England. He has very wide shoulders. He looks a fair bit better than Elvis, when Elvis was in his good years. He has lots of tattoos. He's one of the best, most intentional fathers I know. Really inspiring. When we first connected via Facebook years ago, I told him that since he was a foreigner, I'd be happy to show him some pretty cool wilderness adventures in Minnesota, since he was likely a fancy guy from across the pond. His next message to me was him in the woods with a bobcat over his shoulder. Chris does not mess around. If you've never had the pleasure of being near him, the best description would be this. If he lived in the 1500s, he'd be the big dude with the huge axe running at the enemy way out in front of the formation. I was witness to a prime example of one of my mini-me's take hold of agency this last weekend. Hunting is a thing I started later in life, when I bought my farm. First, I had to figure it out. Then I had to figure it out with my boys. Not only do I see my boys making decisions that affect the outcome of our story, they now help others affect the outcome of their own story. We were witness to a young man take his first turkey this last weekend. My boys helped with setup, calling turkeys, guided the other young human, and gave an assist when cleaning the bird. A new chapter in our story. I was once a person who couldn't imagine letting someone else catch the fish, take the shot, or be the first over the hill. Now, all I desire to is to facilitate these for others. I get more energy being the guide than I do being the hero. The deeply meaningful moments this created with other humans is remarkable. It's tougher. My kids can't shoot as well as me, although they only use 1 bullet each deer and turkey season. My boys may be able to walk and stalk as quiet as me, but they can now sit still and quiet just as long as I can. If you've ever taken young humans hunting, you know how remarkable this is. Agency is something I've wrestled with my entire life. All I wanted was the power, choice, and action when I was young, probably too young to effectively use those things. Then when you start businesses, buy land, and create multiple businesses, you create a scenario where you drown in agency. A thoughtful look back on these decades makes me happy. I get an amazing amount of energy from agency. And if I'm being honest, I was worried that my love of this gift would prevent me from experiencing agency through others. Proud to say that I've experienced more pleasure from accomplishing things through the agencies of others than I ever did accomplishing them myself. It's harder, and I see my industry struggle with this, but if they can stick it out, be patient, do the hard things, and be kind towards one another, it will work out. Agency, individual, is step 1, but enduring success is agency through others. This has been One Page Weekly with Nick Slavik.